I'm adopted and I've been meeting my birth mom, but she doesn't know it's me yet. I love my parents and all that they've done for me, so I'm not going to say that I've been meeting my real mom, because they're all real to me. To start this off, my biological mom had me when she was just 14. Yeah, I know, crazy right? Understandably, I was given up for adoption, and that's how I have the awesome pair of parents that still take care of and love me to this day. I'm 24 now, and I've always been curious about my biological parents, especially my mother. My parents told me about her growing up and that she left me a letter when she put me up for adoption. The letter was kept for safekeeping, and until I got older and wanted to know more about my bio mom. It's crazy reading it sometimes and knowing it was a literal child who wrote it. She said things like she was sorry things had to happen this way and it's not what she intended to happen, and that she couldn't be my mom but she hopes I grew up happy. She was open to having contact when I grew up, but we had to move for my dad's job when I was 11, and then it seemed impossible to find her. But luckily I did. She's working at this small restaurant, and I keep going, but she doesn't know it's me. We talk sometimes, and she seems like a really nice lady. Sometimes when she says something like, "Do you want a refill, honey?" or uses another term like that, I really want to tell her. I don't know why it makes me nervous. We talk often, and she seems really genuine. If it's not super busy, she's more open to talking about random stuff. It's a 2-hour drive for me to come eat at this place, but I do it just to see her. And it's like she knows me already because I've been there once or twice a week for the past 3 months, so she always says hi with a big smile. It took me a long time, but I decided that it was finally time. I was going to tell her. And yeah, it was pretty heavy. My heart was beating really fast the entire time. I kept trying to think of how to tell her. I waited for her to be done with her shift, and until they were done closing up the restaurant. After she finished closing up, she saw me waiting in the parking lot. We waved and said hi to each other, but then I told her there was something serious that she needed to know. First, I told her sorry for keeping it from her for so long. She didn't react until I actually pulled out her letter. And then she started bawling from there. Like screaming and crying at the same time, and I didn't even have to finish the whole "on your son" speech. She just saw it and knew. It was crazy. Next thing I know, she's hugging me instantly, but then she pulled back and asked if it's okay to hug me. Of course it is, and we're just there hugging and crying in the parking lot. It hit her hard. Her legs gave out for a second, so I had to actually hold her up while she's still hugging me for a minute. What really got me was her saying to me, "Look how big you got." Also, hearing her cry made me cry too. She went back to open the restaurant up and we sat in there for hours talking about so many things. We had coffee, ate a slice of their pie, and just talked about anything and everything that came to mind. She told me that the second time I came to the restaurant, she got a feeling that I felt really familiar, but for her, it was hard to believe it could be me. So that feeling she had was pushed way down. She told me that for years after I was adopted, she would see kids around my age and used to think they were me. Then she would be crying in public. It really messed with her mind and made her depressed, so she didn't want to do the same when she first started seeing me in the restaurant. She said I looked so much like my biological dad when he was younger. We talked about him too. They stayed in contact with each other, in case I ever reached out to one of them so it would be easier to contact the other. I didn't have any hope about finding my biological dad since he was never mentioned, so I'm glad they both planned for this future scenario. She told me about how they both wanted to keep me, especially my biological dad. He didn't want me to be adopted, but he knew they had to because they were just kids. It took him a long time to get past it after I was born. That's why he didn't leave anything behind, because he didn't want to believe he would ever get to see me again. We talked for hours, until almost 2 in the morning. She wanted to know everything about me, but her main concern was, am I happy? Were my parents good to me? Did I have a happy childhood? And I did. I told her, "Thank you for helping to give me this life." We both cried again, but she cried the most. Everything was very emotional for her. Sometimes she would look really happy, but then get sad again. After my 18th birthday, she was hoping I would find her, that's why she stayed in the same city. But since I didn't, she always thought maybe I resented her, wasn't told I'm adopted, or maybe had decided it was better not to have her around. It made me feel bad for not telling her sooner. She told me it's not my fault, and I did the right thing by going at my own pace. Honestly, she's so sweet. The way she kept looking at me with the biggest smile, it made me emotional sometimes. It makes you think, how can someone who's been a total stranger your whole life look at you with so much love? It's wild. We learned so much about each other. She asked me if we could have dinner soon to keep talking, and if at some point in the future, if I'm interested, come over to her house so I can meet her husband. That all sounded really great. We exchanged numbers, and after I left, she sent a text telling me thank you for giving her this gift that she didn't know would ever come. My girlfriend came over, and she hugged me while I cried. I wasn't sad, by the way, these were happy tears. Everything went better than I expected. There was still emotionally heavy stuff, but I'm still glad that we got to open up to each other.